Congratulations and hearty thanks to MG, who have given us an amazing set of tyres for the season. If it's going to be like this all year, I think we've really hit a sweet spot. Massive support, of course, from the likes of Alpine Stars as well, supporting the championship as well, as you can see around the paddock. And the drivers are now making their way out on circuit. Take two for the X30 Juniors. And what a grid. Bart Harrison and Freddie Slater on the front row. Dan Ginchard and Santiago Valde on the second. From Guillermo Delgado and Miguel Perro on the third. Then Adrian Mustienes and Jorge Martinez on the fourth row. Then Federico Scalvini and Yavan David on the fifth row. From Ivan Arias and Elia Papacina. And row 7, it's Nathan Otting and Jusso Laukinen. Then Juan Cota shares with Jack Cox, Ruben Volt and Gabriel Stilp. And then it's Juan Pasalagua and Andy Estra. From Momosio, Enzo La Cruz, Francisco Costa, Lucas Flusha, Enzo Soares and Mikai Singh. 8 laps around the circuit for qualifying heat C versus D. And of course 2 laps to explore the circuit. This is where they're going to generate as much heat into the tyres and brakes as they can. They don't want to lock the brakes in the race themselves, so they just have to make sure they do enough work in these 2 exploratory laps to build up the tyre temperatures. We've had a couple of moments in the race though, and a few drivers running wide in the first couple of races because of the tough challenges of this circuit. It is a difficult circuit to get used to, and a few of the new drivers have said it's basically a circuit of 2 halves in a sense, because the first part of the lap, once you go through the first corner, it becomes very technical. It's a tight circuit in the first part, good overtaking opportunities, but a lot of big speeds into slow stops and some very tight technical corners around the circuit makes it challenging for the setup. But as soon as you get onto the back straight, it then becomes a circuit of high speed. So you have to have good top end speed, but you also have to have a good setup to get the kart through the course dynamically. But then there are high curbs here as well, so it can catch out drivers a lot, and we've seen that already with a few drivers battling away in the midfield. A couple of drivers push a little too hard, and once you hit that curb, it unsettles the kart, and you can lose anywhere between half a second and 2 seconds just by hitting the curb at the wrong angle, at the wrong speed. It's a very tough challenge for the drivers. So they come onto the back straight. Bart Harrison and Freddie Slater at the front of the grid. Mick Barrett Racing versus Fusion Motorsport. Harrison versus Slater. Harrison on the inside line, Freddie Slater on the outside line. And then it's Dan Ginchard for the KR Sport team alongside Santiago Valde. And then it is Guillermo Delgado and Miguel Perro from Adrian Mustienes, Jorge Martinez, Federico Scalvini and Yavan David, the Sri Lankan. Out of the final turn. Looks like a very fast start from Bart Harrison, and they are away. Freddie Slater's not quite going to get the overhaul into the first corner, but he might be able to drag some speed around the outside. He has to hesitate, and that's enough for both men to run wide. Into the lead goes Dan Ginchard.